Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Today we're going to be talking about Roseanne. Now, as I was telling Joe when we were watching this, my history with Roseanne started after I got sick. I wasn't the person who has been ride or die the whole time. As a matter of fact, when it first came on television, I didn't really care about it. It wasn't until I got sick and had a lot more time on my hands that I started watching Roseanne on TNT and TBS. And it would come on around the same time every day, like around 5 or 4:30, from 4:30 to like 7, somewhere in that vicinity. And I started to realize what a fantastic show it was. And of course, I wanted to watch them over and over, and I do believe this was before DVDs were really in, you know. And on VHS, we didn't really have a lot of seasons for box sets because you can only put so much on a VHS tape. So, what I did was I taped a majority of the seasons of Roseanne. And I don't know if I still have them or not. I might have some. But I've converted a majority of them over to DVD at this point. And I remember I used to troll the stations to see if it was a episode I didn't have and kind of plan my day around taping it. So I guess I was borderline obsessive, but I really enjoyed the show, and it was one that I could watch all the time. Now I watch it on Saturdays because they have a huge run of it on. I can't remember if it's IFC or AMC. It's one of those stations, and it's on until 1 o'clock when it goes over to Mike and Molly, which I don't particularly care for that much. But I still watch it, even though I have the seasons. I still watch it on television, and I remember hearing when they were going to reboot the series, and I was so excited about rebooting it. Um, Nervous, like Joe had told me earlier, because you want one of your favorite shows to get the proper treatment. But I was also um, nervous but hopeful. And in all honesty, they didn't miss a beat. It felt like you were watching the entire, just like this was like it had been going on all along. Now, this is the 10th season here, which has not gotten um, an actual physical copy. I doubt it ever will. And I'm lucky enough to have a friend of mine who is as big of a Roseanne fan as I am, and he made me a copy of the 10th season. And this actually has an extra episode on it. And the episode is the first season and the episode 1 of the Connors. Just to see how they handled killing off their main character. Not only killing off the main character, but changing the entire show, the name. So, we're going to talk about the controversy in Roseanne. Um, Now, Roseanne Barr, I did a deep dive with this because I was really interested. So, I watched a lot of videos, a lot of interviews with Roseanne Barr. And Roseanne has always been a controversial comic. I remember when she sang the national anthem at the baseball game and grabbed her crotch and spit. Now, I remember that getting a lot of hate People said she was disrespected. She disrespected the country and all that kind of stuff. Of course, this was before cancel culture really knew what to do in order to get someone out. But, it took me a while to realize that A, she can't sing, so she wasn't purposely destroying the national anthem. She just can't sing. And the whole grabbing her crotch and spitting is she was imitating baseball players because guess what? She was singing it at a baseball game. How about that? She wasn't spitting on the flag, and the things that people come up with is amazing. So, with that being said, she has always been a very controversial comic. Now, as the 10th season was rolling, I was loving it, and all of a sudden you hear about this tweet. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the tweet is. If you're interested, you can look it up. I don't want to get involved in that. But after this tweet that was supposedly racist and all that kind of stuff, ABC, which of course owns Disney and is very left wing, kind of chomped at the bit in order to get rid of Roseanne. But it wasn't only ABC, because ABC had tried this before. Many people may not know that they tried to get rid of her after the first few episodes of the first season. But of course, they were unsuccessful because John Goodman and Laurie Metcalf actually stood their ground and said, we're not doing it unless she's still a part of the cast. Well, unfortunately, with cancel culture, and I think ABC's voracious wrath against Roseanne, they kind of shot first and really didn't bother to ask questions because they didn't care. They wanted her gone. And they wanted to put it in the hands of her one time protege, Sarah Gilbert, who kind of led the charge against Roseanne being fired. Now, this was a person who Sarah Gilbert claimed was her mother, was like a mother figure to her, and basically begged her to do this reboot. And how she said, I've got your back, I've got your back. And Roseanne fell for it. So, her and the girl who plays Harris on the Connors, I don't know her name. I can't stand her anyway, to be honest. I think she was a low grade of the show, and I didn't like her character. And from what I read, I'm not alone. In a lot of the other parts she played, like on Shameless, the fans of the shows couldn't stand her either. So she's just nasty with a resting bitch face, and she came off. I understood what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a character like Darlene was in the original, of course, be her daughter and be sarcastic and mean and witty and this, that, and the other thing. The only problem is they failed. And she just came off as mean and a bitch, to be honest. That's just my opinion. I just didn't like her character. So you have Sarah Gilbert and the girl who played Harris kind of leading the charge to get Roseanne fired, which was all ABC needed to step in and do the dirty deed. So Roseanne still says that this tweet was political and it was misunderstood. And she wanted the opportunity to apologize to her fans. Well, Disney, ABC, said that if you sign the show over to Darlene, her show, her life experiences, then they would give her a chance to apologize. That never happened. They completely took back what they said, and Now the show went 6 more seasons. And it's a shame because we could have gotten 6 more seasons of Roseanne, which we didn't have. Now, Joe will tell you he never watched The Connors. I unfortunately did. And while I didn't hate the show, I'm kind of ashamed knowing what went down that I actually supported it and watched it. Simply because I was invested in some of the characters, like, of course, Dan and Jackie, Darlene, Becky. But it was just a different show after Roseanne. So I'm going to throw this one to you guys again. Sorry I've been running off the mouth too much, but this is a little longer than I intended. But I'm curious to what you guys think about Roseanne and how they kind of kicked her off the show and made her a scapegoat for a lot of what was going on at the time. Um, yeah, let me know what you guys think. And as always, don't forget to check out Joe's controversial view for Roseanne. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.